Hello everyone and welcome to my CS24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Curse of Oak Island preview. The team is set to finally learn what's at the bottom of the garden shaft. The Curse of Oak Island sees the team finally reach the bottom of the garden shaft, and Rick Lagina leads an expedition to explore Templar Knights caves in Italy. This week, the Dumas Mining Company will finally reach the bottom of the garden shaft at about 82 feet. The guys have been waiting impatiently for this moment, and they'll be hoping for a major breakthrough in the coming days. The Dumas team has been restoring the old timbers to rehabilitate the shaft. The guys had initially thought the shaft was a 19th century searcher shaft, but carbon-14 dating revealed it could be much older and maybe the work of the original treasure depositors. So far, they've not uncovered any hidden treasure or secret offset chambers, but they are still picking up a lot of gold and silver signatures in the wood. These not insignificant levels of precious metals were enough to make Oak Island historian Charles Barkhouse declare in a preview that the garden shaft is where the real money pit could be. It seems as though Dumas won't be taking a break and will continue to dig down and perhaps outwards too. It's completely uncharted territory. Marty Lagina summed up the team situation with a Star Trek reference, stating, "So, we're about to boldly go where no one's gone before." Oak Island team explores Templar caves in Italy. Meanwhile, Rick Lagina and a few of the other guys will be arriving in Italy, where they'll meet up with Oak Island theorist Corgin Mole and researcher Emiliano Sacchetti. Corgin and Emiliano have long studied the links between the medieval order of the Templar Knights and Oak Island. The Oak Island guys will explore the extensive cave system beneath the town of Camerino, near Osimo on the Adriatic coast. Caves long associated with the Templar Knights. Last week, Emiliano showed the guys a map of the caves, which appeared to show an underground chamber in the exact shape of the 14th century lead cross. And tonight, viewers can expect the team to find a compelling connection between these Italian caves and Nolan's cross. This is bound to add fuel to the theory that Templar Knights traveled to Oak Island in the 14th century to bury ancient Christian relics and treasures. The History Channel episode synopsis helps confirm all of the above reading. The North Atlantic winter is quickly approaching, but the stars are aligning for the Fellowship of the Dig when the swamp reveals more of its secrets, and a trip to Italy provides a shocking new insight into Nolan's cross. Season 10 of The Curse of Oak Island is coming to a close. The team has now started making repeated references to the weather closing in. This means the season only has a few more episodes left. The harsh Canadian winter makes work on the island extremely difficult beyond a certain point, and as the guys rapidly approach that point, they'll be hoping for some kind of a breakthrough. Fingers crossed, folks. For over a decade, the garden shaft has loomed as a mysterious, wooden-walled enigma deep in the belly of Oak Island. Dug, abandoned, rediscovered, and reinforced, it has stood like a silent sentinel in the shadow of the money pit. But now, after seasons of chasing tantalizing clues and digging through both dirt and centuries of legend, the Lagina brothers and their intrepid team are poised to answer the question that has haunted them for years. What lies at the bottom of the garden shaft? In this week's highly anticipated episode of The Curse of Oak Island, the team is preparing for what might be the most momentous descent in the show's history. The energy on the island is palpable, the air electric with possibility. After weeks of pumping out water, stabilizing the walls, and installing new safety systems, the shaft is finally ready for a full-scale exploration. With boots on the ground, not just cameras and probes. Rick Lagina stands at the edge of the opening, hands on his hips, squinting down into the darkness. He doesn't say much, but his silence is louder than words. Beside him, Marty paces anxiously, his excitement barely contained. Craig Tester double-checks the blueprints and coordinates. Scott Barlow and Charles Barkhouse go over the shaft's history once more, tracing a web of intersecting timelines that point to one nagging possibility: The garden shaft may be the direct path to a hidden vault, possibly the vault. The anomalies are undeniable, Charles says, tapping the LiDAR scan. And with that old map we found in Portugal, pointing to a vertical drop aligned with the 90-foot stone. This could be it. We might finally be beneath it. The recent episodes laid the groundwork. Evidence linking the garden shaft to not just the original money pit, but also to Templar activity has piled up like logs at a lumberyard. The Portuguese cross etched into a stone block recovered nearby. The iron spikes that matched 14th century shipbuilding techniques. Even the medieval manuscript fragment found in the spoils. All clues seem to whisper one word: intentional. Now, after securing permits and fine-tuning logistics, a reinforced man cage is being lowered into the shaft, carrying none other than Jack Begley and new team geologist Eden McLeod. Eden, a recent addition to the team, has already impressed with her keen eye and deep understanding of glacial deposit layers. If something was buried down there before the flood tunnels were activated, she said in a past confessional, I'll be the one to see it. The descent is tense. Marty watches the monitors like a hawk, fingers clenched. As the cage reaches 90 feet, Eden's voice crackles through the radio. I see something, she says. Everyone leans closer. It's a beam, no, a series of beams. And they're not collapsed. They're intact. Describe them, Rick replies, voice steady but tight. They're shaped like a tunnel, but this isn't a natural cavity. Someone dug this deliberately. There's something embedded in the wall. Looks like a metallic glint. I think it's a chest corner. Pandemonium breaks out above. Marty nearly drops his coffee. Gary Drayton is already racing to gather his metal-detecting tools. Laird Niven, eyes wide, murmurs, if that's an undisturbed chamber, we need to approach this as an archaeological site. Carefully. Back in the shaft, Jack and Eden start documenting everything. The chest-like object is half buried, the wood rotted, but the iron hardware stubbornly clinging on. Nearby, they find what appears to be the corner of a hand-carved stone box. Jack's voice trembles. Rick, you'd better come down here. Moments later, Rick is lowered into the garden shaft himself, the gravity of the moment etched on his face. For years, he's dreamed of finding not just treasure, but proof that someone centuries ago came here with a purpose. He reaches the chamber and shines his flashlight on the embedded objects. He says nothing at first, just stares. Then, this is it. Back on the surface, a hush falls as the crew begins preparing for a full extraction. No backhoes or spoils piles this time. This is delicate. This is sacred. Laird, Eden, and archaeologist Emma Culligan coordinate how best to remove the contents without disturbing context.